So we're going to kick this off with a forward fold. But notice my hand. I'm actually taking my hand and tucking my chin all the way to my chest. The reason for that is so that I can begin bending from my cervical spine, right? The spine that's in the neck. And then you may notice that I'll take some time trying to ease into that stretch, because for me, this really pulls on the fascia in my back. That may or may not be your experience, but take your time, ease into it. From there, and don't mind Maddox, go into a nice downward dog, pushing through your shoulders, getting a nice stretch in your chest. This walking out movement is as much a stretch for your calves as it is for your toes when you go forward. So pay attention to both the feet. You want to try to get the heel down on one side while you're pushing to flex your toes on the other. And since you're there, you might as well stretch the top of your feet as well. From that stretch, go ahead, lay down on the ground and begin pushing up in some cobras. I start with my hands a little bit in front of my head, then I move my hands to my ears, and then you'll see me move my hands to right underneath my shoulders. You want to ease into that, and with each one of these movements, you want to make sure you're keeping your shoulders away from your ears, and even think of a string in the middle of your chest, pulling your chest forward. When you're ready, walk one hand to the center, take the other hand and reach for your thigh behind you. And I'm moving through this fairly quickly just to demonstrate, but take your time, and you can twist multiple times to go through this. There is no rush to the stretch. All I want you to do is just listen to your body and go with the flow. From here, you can take it over and get a nice release in your low back. Take your knee to the floor. Try to hold it there while you take the opposite shoulder down to the floor. You make it a little pop. It should actually feel good. And then just repeat. Before you go to the other side, reach down for that foot. Use your butt of that leg that's on the bottom to get your leg in line with your body. Holding that foot, holding the knee down, get a nice good twist, aiming the shoulder to the floor. It doesn't matter if you reach or not. I want you to aim the shoulder to the floor. And of course, remember to breathe. So from here, you'll be able to see grabbing that foot, then you want to kick it back. Kick it back using your butt and get that knee in line with your spine. And then just aim the opposite shoulder to the floor. Notice my breath. Continue to breathe. Again, you can hold this as long or as little as you like. Now from here, I like to get a little bit deeper into my shoulder. So you want to get your hips over your knees. You want to sit them back and then aim your chest to the floor, or rather aim your armpits to the floor and look up. Doesn't matter if you're able to actually touch the floor or not. Just lift that head, get a stretch in your neck, and try to get your chin and your armpits on the floor. Now we can move into a psoas stretch, stretching the hips. So you want to get in this half kneeling position, straighten out those hips, make sure one side isn't higher than the other, and then go through the squeeze and release of your glutes. Do this about 6 times, and then have that same engagement with your arm over your head and rocking back and forth. It's crucial to keep your butt super tight during this entire movement. You may feel this in your hips, you may feel this in your quads, and that may change week to week as you get looser and as your body gets used to this movement. All right, coming out of the hip flexor stretch. As you can see, anytime I do anything in the house, my dog is right there with me. All right, so now it's time to get into some straddles. In this position, you just go to as wide as you can go and start wherever you can keep your back straight. It is important. I don't want to see you rounding over in your straddle. Start wherever you can keep your back straight and then just aim one shoulder to one side and the other shoulder to the other side. You can wiggle your butt at the same time to kind of release your hamstrings a little bit and just rock through and breathe. Really reach for that stretch. You may notice that you're able to get a little bit lower as you go through this. Do that about 6 to 8 times. Now you want to get a little bit deeper into the side stretch. So you want to reach over your body, opposite arm to opposite foot. I like to grab my toe and then use my ankle to pull me into a deeper stretch. And then just kind of face the knee, same thing. When you're doing these, as much as you can, aim to keep, especially for this one, trying to keep your spine neutral. You don't want to round out too much. If you can't grab your toe, then just reach over your head into space, and wherever you are is where you are. You can even wrap a belt around your foot or your ankles. You can have something to reach onto and kind of pull yourself in a little bit, and that's okay too. So start where you start, and then I like to end after I've done some deeper stretches. I want to test how far I can go while keeping a straight back. Again, do not rush through any of these. Take your time. This side to side movement just provides a little bit of a release after all that deep stretching. And then we are ending in what I call namaste because it is not easy and it requires some prayer to get through. So get in those prayer hands, aim your elbows to your knees first, and then as you feel comfortable and with each breath, you can reach forward. I like to then go from side to side. When you're doing the side to side, it is okay to have a rounded back. And even for this last stretch here, it's okay to have a rounded back. But when you start in the prayer hands, you want to have a straight back. And when you're thinking of stacking these legs, what's cool about having a mat in front of you is that you can make sure your bottom leg is parallel to the edge of your mat. You don't want it too close into your body. You want those legs stacked directly on top of each other. And that's it. And while there's obviously definitely more stretches one can do, this is a good place to start. This is a nice routine that feels really good in the morning, and you're able to hit multiple joints, which is why I like it. So take your time and breathe.